Washington County Planning Commission now come to order. Stand for the pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Roger Hagan.
Here.
James Ursery.
Here.
Al Cowan asked to be excused. Jim Ackerman.
Here.
David Morris.
Here.
Joe Taylor.
Here.
John Gay.
Here.
Stephen Kramer.
Here.
Planning Secretary is present.
Any amendments to the agenda this evening?
Yes, sir. I have one amendment under 7, new business. I'd like to add number A, ethics training. Discuss that real briefly.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
Approval of the agenda, please.
Move.
Motion?
Second.
So motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Moving to the public hearing, special exception. Application for Michael Nixon for used car sales.
Yes, sir. I have a brief presentation for the board. This is a hearing for a special exception application for used car sales. The applicant is Michael Nixon. The property location is 751 Kirkland Road, which is the northeast corner of Kirkland Road and South Boulevard, just down the street about a mile from here. The property size is 13.3 acres. This includes the property on the east side of the road, as well as property on the west side of the road, which is in the photograph. The owners are Ann and R.B. Kirkland. This aerial shows the property as the contractor's office and storage yard with some driveway connections on the Kirkland. The property is designated industrial on the future land use map. Commercial uses are allowed in industrial if the board grants a special exception approval for the commercial use. And used car sales are commercial use. This is a part of the future land use map. It shows the industrial in the gray. This is the property here, this square. There's one other industrial to the north. The red is commercial along Kirkland, and the tan is residential surrounding the property. This is the applicant's aerial photograph that shows the existing building. The area in the pink is the used car sales. It'll be 1,000 square feet inside the building with a door in the front, 4 public parking spots with a handicap space, access aisle. There's a fence that exists in this location. This is being cleared out to park the cars and so forth in this location. This is a schematic showing the same basic diagram. This is a public hearing. There were letters sent to the adjacent property owners. There are signs posted on the property. There are ads in the newspaper. A neighborhood meeting on the 21st of December. No one showed up to the meeting. There are criteria for special exceptions in our code. Those criteria have been met in our opinion. There are no detrimental impacts on the adjacent properties, and handicap accessibility has been addressed by the proposed site plan. Staff is recommending 5 conditions. This includes the building official as well as the engineer. One is the restroom is required to be handicap accessible. The handicap parking shall be on asphalt or concrete and properly assigned. There shall be wheel stops for every parking spot. Even though this is milled asphalt, it needs to have a wheel stop so we can count the spaces. All signs require a building permit, and the existing septic tank has to meet the health department requirements. And those are my comments, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Nixon's in the audience to address any questions you might have for him as well.
Mr. Kirkland's not here this evening.
No, just his agent, Mr. Nixon, the applicant.
Mr. Nixon, if you'd like to come forward, please.
Just give us a brief overview, Mr. Nixon, what you plan to do with the property.
What my whole intention was is, we have a lot of used car sales out. I was kind of looking for the lower people. What I want to do is, I don't want a whole bunch of cars as far as a car lot per se. What we want to do is get where we can go to an auction for people that want a car. They tell us what they're looking for, how much money they got that they can spend on a car. we can take and go to an auction and find what they want. And then, you know, if, say they got a few extra dollars in there that they want to go up, we can find something else for them. And then purchase the car for them, bring it back to our lot, clean it up, go through it, make sure everything's good on it, and then call them, they come pick it up. And, you know, we might have 1 or 2 cars there that after we get it, they say they didn't want it or whatever, then we would have a car set on the lot for sale. In order to get, which the law in Florida says if you sell more than 3 cars a year, you have to have a dealer's license. The only way to get a dealer's license is to have a place of business that's already approved by the county, and then that has to go with the application that I've already turned in, but they recused me because I don't have permission from the county to do this at this location. That's kind of what I want to do. As far as having a full-blown car lot, where you got 10 or 15 cars, I don't want that. I don't want a bunch of overhead sitting here that I got money coming out of my pocket that I can't afford. I just kind of want to get where I can let people pick and choose what they want. I can go find it for them and bring it back. Without a dealer's license, I cannot do this. I cannot go to an auction without a dealer's license. I can't sell no more than 3 a year. So I'm kind of going for the lower end of people that can't afford to go to car lots and pay, you know, $400 or $500 a month on a car, or a week on a car. They can tell me what they got, I can go to the auction, find what they want, what they need, get it for them, they purchase it, or I will put it up for sale or take it back to an auction. That's my whole idea of doing this.
Questions for Mr. Nixon?
I have a question. I see in here that you're going to do RTVs.
Yes, sir.
Okay, across the street is the house. Okay. If you start revving up RTVs and stuff, I don't think the people across the street is going to be too pleased.
We do not, I mean, what they buy is what they're selling. We'll crank it up and let it run, but we will not be rawhiding or nothing like that. That is not part of our safety.
Okay, that was just a concern.
Yeah, we're inside the city limits pretty much at that point. I mean, we're right there at the city limits.
Right.
So as far as noise refraction, no, I'm against that.
Okay.
You know, I'm not gonna make nobody upset for what we've got there. You know, that's not my goal. I mean, if they wanna buy it and take it off and rip it up on their property, that's fine, but it won't happen at that
Okay.
place.
We could add hours of operation as a condition if you want to limit it to certain hours of the day. Those by 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., that's appropriate as well. It's up to the board.
And I will add, there is no business hours for my little deal. It's gonna be appointment only. So when we find whatever and we agree, we will call them, we'll set up a time to come meet and do whatever transaction we have to do for that particular vehicle or ATV. It's not gonna be open 7 to 5 or nothing like that.
Would you not want to reserve the possibility to do that? This may work out, maybe a good business. Would you not want to bring a person in 5 days? It may, I agree with you, we may want to do something about hours of operation because of noise, but I'd hate to see you limit yourself that I'm not going to be open. That's your choice, but
Yeah, I
you
mean,
want to do that.
looking for in the future, yeah, I can do that.
I'd rather not limit you now. You have to come back to us or some other board or something.
I agree.
And change that. Mr. Kramer, what do you think?
Yes, sir. This approval runs with the land is the legal term. It stays there with the land, so it's there indefinitely. And the subsequent owners may have a different business plan than Mr. Nixon has, so it may be appropriate to put hours down as a condition.
Doesn't it have something to do with the license though? If you say this is going to be a car lot from 8 to 5, you've got to be there 8 to 5, and if you just say by appointment when only, you don't have to, you don't, isn't that?
No,
The
sir.
license.
Actually, they even have on the application where it's internet sales. and, you know, I don't really care nothing about doing everything on the internet. But they have, the application's also blended in with the internet sales where you have, you know, you can buy and sell on the internet and not even have an office.
If I'm not mistaken, if you say we're gonna be here from 8 to 5, then you're bound to be there. And if you say by appointment only, then you're not bound to be there.
Right. And on our sign that we have made, the hour limit is by appointment only. And it is legible on the signs.
And by appointment only could maybe there at 7 o'clock one night and you not have to close at 5.
Yeah, I mean, we can put a limit, you know, between 7 and 5 during the day on that, you know, by appointment only between 7 and 5. You know, I don't really want to do nothing after dark, you know.
I understand, and I want you to do it when you want to, but I'm just thinking, if everybody else is working from 9 to 5, or 8 to 5, or 7 to 5, or something like that, they may can't do business during those hours. They may need to see you at 6 or 7 in the evening.
That is true.
And that would be your business plan. I want us to be careful how much regulation we put on him. That corner's got a good reputation. There've been a lot of Dodges drove off of that place right there. But he could not make it to the end of the year if there's a lot of regulations.
I'm not sure if the county's approval would affect the state license that he gets. The county can say, you know, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Monday through Friday or through Saturday. That wouldn't affect his state license, in my view. I'm an expert on state
Why would
license.
we want to do that? I mean, it seems to me like you're restricting him unnecessarily. That's not his plan, and when you put those restrictions on this approval, which you said earlier, it goes with it, which means it's something that would take his market value down if somebody wanted something different.
I just, yeah, you know, ATV, little motorcycles, revving them up at 7:30 at night, when people are trying to watch TV or have dinner, maybe obnoxious or something, but that's just a concern. So the conditions are recommended by staff, 1 through 5. If you want to add that one, you're welcome to. It's really your call.
I don't see the need in that. If he's foolish enough to rev up ATV at 7 o'clock at night, and chipping ponies will solve that. I don't think that's our problem.
Mr. Ackerman, does his response address what you were talking about without us imposing something?
And I have one question.
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of your recommendations,
Yes.
you on there typed in here, septic tank contractor, but on your presentation, you put health department. When we make a motion and vote on this and approve it, are we making the motion and approving what's printed here or what is on your screen?
This is the exact language from the health department, so I'd recommend the language in the staff report be recommended for approval. The text.
The
This
health
is,
department said it could be inspected by a septic tank contractor.
I'm sure there's some certificate they provide to the health department that is inspected.
Yeah.
They don't do the inspections themselves, to my knowledge. This is verbatim from what they gave us.
Okay.
Are you adding bathrooms to the facility?
We will, and this is what I was telling Mr. Kramer, this is all proposed. If y'all give me the letter stating that I can do this business there, and they do go ahead and give me my dealer's license, I will conform to whatever we have to do to make that property and the bathrooms and everything accessible to whatever we gotta meet standards to. I mean, we can expand the bathroom, make it handicap. I mean, there's not a problem, we got plenty of room.
But not adding bathrooms?
We're not gonna add a bathroom. We've got 2 bathrooms in there now. So we can take one of the bathrooms and we can extend it out and make it handicap accessible for handicap wheelchairs, walkers, whatever else.
I would like to see that. Because after you go, somebody else will come in there and we say, well, we haven't allowed it. or we have allowed it, okay? So I think we need to be very clear on that.
I think ADA may require that if you go to put up to.
I think so too. I do too.
We're requiring just one bathroom to be handicap accessible, be unisex for both sexes.
Right.
It is a condition of approval.
I have one question. Mr. Kramer, you've done an excellent job preparing this, but I'm looking at the special exception application, and the petitioner is not the property owner. And the letter that I'm reading from Mr. Kirkland does not specify any land changes other than to use the property. So I question the legality of that. Is there any further insight that you can offer me on this?
Yes, sir. There's in your packet beyond the application, a letter of authorization from the two property owners authorizing Mr. Nixon to represent them for this application. And the application does state it's for small 8 to 10 unit ATV and auto sales. So the owners authorized Mr. Nixon to apply for that use of the property.
For the use of that property, but for the special exception change in the county records. I'm a little concerned about the legality of that. He's not the property owner.
Oftentimes, developers will get approval from the owners to come forward with a proposal and not acquire the property, for example, until it's approved. So they're the agent for the property owner. And that's the case here. Mr. Nixon's an agent for the owners to make this application. And I can clarify that before the Board of County Commissioners looks at this, make sure it's legally sufficient.
I would like that to be a requirement that the county attorney gives, or Mr. Kirkland himself gives clarification.
Yes, sir, I'll look into that for you, no problem.
I would be upset if we leased, say, I leased some property to someone only to find out that the county altered the records to suit the tenant.
Right.
I just want to be sure Mr. Kirkland understands what's going on here.
They actually called me and we spoke about the request, so they're familiar with it, but
I'm sure, but it's not in writing here.
I understand.
All right. Any other questions from the floor? Okay, we'll close the public hearing at this time. The board want to vote on this now?
Make a motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman, with the conditions in the staff report,
With the conditions of the staff
As
report
presented.
and clarification.
And the clarification from the county.
Mr. Kirkland.
yes, sir.
Is that the motion?
Yes, sir.
Motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Mr. Nixon.
Moving to old business,
No other business, Mr. Chairman.
new business.
I brought up the ethics training. There's a section in state law that requires elected officials, and it's been determined appointed officials have 4 hours of ethics training every calendar year. You've been contacted via email about this class requirement. Some of you responded, some of you haven't, but just, if you could let us know which class you'd like to attend, we'll schedule it for you. But it is a state law that you do attend that training. And we passed out the locations of the classes. I guess there's 5 in the region to attend. They're free of charge of the county. And I guess some of you in the past, they're pretty good classes.
It's very informative.
Very good. Thanks. That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone in the audience, anything to add at this time? Okay, we'll move down to number 10, annual election of chair and vice chair.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
all the old business that we asked just seemed to come out forgotten. Just to the north of where Mr. Dixon talked about, we had an application about a year ago for use, for a bike shop. Did that? No,
It's been withdrawn.
It's been withdrawn.
Yeah.
I didn't sit over here now, and when he came up, it jogged my memory.
Yeah, the owner of the property put in a commercial culvert, but no application for development has been submitted.
Yes, sir, this is my item, the election of chairman. It's in the code that every year you adopt a chairman and a vice chairman, so open the floor for nominations. Mr. Cohen said he'd be willing to accept the nomination if nominated.
Pleasure of the board.
Mr. Morris, would you like to be chairman? So you're the vice.
I would make it, yes.
I didn't hear. What was your question, Mr. Stubbs?
Would Mr. Morris be willing to be chairman if nominated?
Any additional nominations for chairman? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Morris is the chairman next year. Is there nominations for vice chairman?
Would you like to do it?
I missed too many meetings.
Mr. Ackerman?
I like to do it.
Mr. Gabb?
Okay.
I'm the only one left standing, so I suppose so.
And I would, but I think somebody else would do better. I think you really would be better.
Any additional nominations for vice chairman? All those in favor say aye. Unanimous? Congratulations, gentlemen.
Good
And
job,
those-
fellas.
Good. That day.
Several years coming, before I return the favor that you've done tonight.
Comes around slowly.
That's exactly right. Eventually, I thought, when you did that for me, I thought, yeah, Dave, we're coming.
We haven't had any of those 4 to 6 hour meetings here for a long time.
Now, one final thing, Mr. Chairman, we passed out a list of projects that has been requested. There's a list of various projects that we're working on and have been in process for some time. We have many cell towers, we have a couple churches, Mr. Nixon and so forth. So this is just more for information purposes. If you have any questions, let us know. Just going to pass it out to the board.
I like that. It's a good tracking tool. I think Mr. Ackerman kind of was behind that. It's a good tracking tool. But once it appears in the notes there, once someone appears here, we don't have to. Does your staff have to do any kind of follow-up after they leave here with whatever our vote is, the board of commissioners in a week or so later approves or does that? Until they come back to you or the building department?
Yeah, we issue a development order that they've been approved by the county, and they use that to get a building permit. So that's the final step in our process.
So like some of these things can take a long time, Mr. Joe just pointed out, Mr. Hunter just pointed out that one of them like 2 years old now, approaching 2 years old.
Sometimes the economics change and people just let them sit for a while, but that's not often the case.
Were you ready for us to tell us which meetings we're going to?
You're welcome to tell us now if you want to make a decision now, if we're going to go to the ethics class.
I want to do February 8th. That's
Okay. Anybody else have a preference as to classes they want to attend?
Yeah, well, I've been there once, so I want to go again. That's an inside joke here.
I have to go as a member of Walsall County Council, and I think we'll do it as a group, so I will also provide you with my training certificate. I will see what they want to do.
Okay, very good. We appreciate
I
that.
can provide you with my certificate.
Yeah, because I figured you.
Very good.
Anybody signed up for Mary?
Yeah,
Mr. Ackerman has.
and Mr. Morris's.
Put me down for that one, I guess.
Okay,
That's the 18th, right?
yes, sir. It's a Monday, I believe. I think so.
It's Thursday.
Yeah.
Or is that a Thursday? No, it's Thursday.
That'd be a Wednesday.
It's one of those days during the week.
The 16th is
It's the
Monday.
Thursday, you're correct. Thursday. Sorry.
I have to take off work, so I'm gonna take off, it needs to be the end of the week.
And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Then I won't be there.
Move adjourned.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion is second. Those in favor?
Call me.